And imagine waking up one day to discover that the Earth's core, the molten heart of our planet, had suddenly gone cold. No more glowing magma swirling thousands of kilometers below us. No more fiery furnace at the center of the Earth, just a lifeless solid rock. What would happen? Would the Earth survive? Would we survive? Or would the planet become nothing more than a giant space-frozen bowling ball floating around the sun? First, let's quickly remind ourselves why the Earth's core matters. Beneath your feet, about 3,000 kilometers down, lies a liquid outer core made mostly of molten iron and nickel, surrounding a solid inner core. This churning mass isn't just for show. It's basically the Earth's giant dynamo, generating our magnetic field. That invisible shield is what keeps us alive, deflecting deadly solar radiation, steering cosmic rays, and stopping the sun from microwaving us like a hot pocket. Without it, the Earth would be a lot less home sweet home, and a lot more Mars with Wi-Fi. So, if the Earth's core cooled down completely, the magnetic field would vanish. At first, nothing would look different. Your phone would still work, your coffee would still taste like disappointment, and you could still watch cat videos online. But slowly, day by day, the consequences would creep in. The solar wind, those streams of charged particles from the sun, would start slamming directly into our atmosphere. Satellites would fry, GPS would glitch, planes would get lost, and your favorite TV show might buffer forever. Worst of all, the atmosphere itself would begin leaking into space. Not fast enough to notice right away, but give it a few million years and Earth would be bald, dry, and uninhabitable. But wait, it gets worse. Without a hot, churning core, volcanoes would shut down. For most of us, that sounds like a good deal. No more lava-destroying towns, no more airport closures because of ash clouds. But here's the catch. Volcanoes do more than just ruin vacations. They recycle carbon dioxide, they help regulate the climate, and they keep the Earth's crust constantly renewing itself. Without them, the carbon cycle would collapse, and our planet's atmosphere would eventually turn as stale as a bag of chips you forgot behind the couch. And let's not forget earthquakes. With no molten core driving the movement of tectonic plates, earthquakes would eventually stop. Again, sounds like a win. No more cracked highways or collapsing buildings. But tectonic activity is what makes mountains rise, continents drift, and oceans form. Without it, the Earth would become geologically dead. The Himalayas would slowly erode into little hills. The ocean trenches would flatten out. And in a few 100 million years, the planet would look as featureless as a cue ball. A very big, very boring cue ball. But there's one more twist. The warmth of the Earth's core also helps keep the planet's surface temperature stable. Without that slow heat leaking up through the mantle, the Earth would lose an important source of energy. The crust would get colder, permafrost would spread, and even deep-sea hydrothermal vents, the bizarre, alien-looking habitats where life first evolved, would shut down. Whole ecosystems of strange creatures, from giant tube worms to eyeless shrimp, would go extinct. We would lose living proof that life can thrive in extreme conditions. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's bad. But at least we'd still have the sun, right? That should keep things going. And yes, the sun would keep the surface warm for a while. But remember, without the magnetic field, the sun would also be slowly blasting away our atmosphere. Imagine Earth a billion years from now, just another dry rock orbiting the sun, with dust storms swirling over its surface. In other words, congratulations, we just turned Earth into Mars 2.0. Of course, there's also the question of how the core could even cool completely. Realistically, it would take billions of years. The inner core has been slowly solidifying since Earth was born, and it's nowhere near done. So if you're worried this is going to happen anytime soon, don't be. You're more likely to be hit by a falling refrigerator than to witness the Earth's core going cold. Still, imagining it makes you appreciate how delicate our planet really is. That fiery ball of molten iron buried deep underground is basically the Earth's beating heart. If it ever stopped, life as we know it would stop too. Which makes you wonder, if Earth had a warranty, would the core count as a replaceable part? Or would the whole planet just get tossed in the cosmic recycling bin?